Hello everyone. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do a little test run, and I'm going to do a paint and praise channel. I think that's what I've decided I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice a little painting that I have a class for tomorrow night. And in this practice, I'm just going to sit and talk and paint because I love to paint. Everybody knows that. And give you a few pointers on how I go about doing things. All right, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my canvas down. I'm just going to take water, and I actually just learned this trick from somebody else because I love watching the tutorial videos from other people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the canvas down, just take my water, wet the canvas, because this is going to help the paint to spread a whole lot easier, especially when I'm doing just mostly a background that I just really want to get the paint spreaded on there. So what I'm going to do is it's going to be a snowman nighttime scene. And so I'm going to use a lot of dark colors, but then we're going to lighten it. You'll see. So I'm going to mix some blue and black. Okay. I don't know exact number of all these colors, but I'm just going to start, see, doing this right here, just mixing the blue and black. I want it to be pretty dark in the background because I'm going to want it to show my stars here in a little bit. So I want to use actually more black than blue. Now see how that paint just really spreads. One thing that I have noticed when people are painting is it absolutely wears their arm out. And I totally understand that now. I didn't really get that concept in the beginning when I started this because I actually, for some that don't know, have been a house painter. I've been painting houses for like, gosh, 25 years I know of for sure. Longer than that because I worked for 4 other paint companies before I actually went out on my own, so I could learn as much as I could learn. And then while I was working for them, I was putting up like sprayers and pressure washers and stuff like that in layaway and paying for it with my hourly wage that I was making from other people. And then one day I went out on my own, and I done had most of the tools and stuff that I needed to do that. So that's how that all worked. But saying that, in the process, I didn't realize from all the painting I've done over the years how tired it was going to make people's arms to do this. So now we're trying to figure out ways to help that paint spread a little better and a little faster, just to help you to, not get totally wore out while doing this. So first thing I'm going to do is just spread this out. Now, this is just a little test to see how this is going to go on my video. I may upload it. I may not. I have no idea yet. So, but as you can see, we're just going to get that colored really, really good. Now, what I'm going to want is a glow in the middle, okay? I'm not going all the way to the bottom because I'm going to make that snow. But what I'm going to do up here is I want to get a round circle glow. So I'm just going to add white to my brush while everything is still good and wet. And I'm just going to make me a circle in the middle. See here, I'm just going to make me a circle. And with that circle, I'm just going to start spreading it around. Spread, spread, spread. I actually want that to be a little tighter. Spread, spread, spread. I'm going to whiten this up quite a bit. I want this to kind of look like it just glows. So I'm going to go around and around and around. See how I'm just going around and around? So that will actually start glowing out like it's got a moon haze coming around. I want to get it kind of the whole entire canvas. Just a big old circle like that. I'm going to add more white. I'm going to let it get whiter and whiter. Now after this dries, I'm going to come back in and make this center spot even more bright. But I do want the little glow around it. So I'm just taking my brush. Yeah, I'm just taking my brush. I want to add a little more blue into that, I think. Put a little more blue into that. Yeah, I want a little blue in it. Okay, and I'm just going to let it get more brighter and brighter as it goes around. I'm going to keep adding a little white to it. See, I want this to be a really good little glow. So all I have to do is keep adding white. Keep adding white. Let it get brighter and brighter. I don't want to try to go too white too quick because I actually want that glowed out ring effect on my canvas, okay? So I gradually add more and more white just to let it get brighter and brighter. Let that ring get a little bigger. I do want to keep some darker out here. I'll lay this down so it's not so thick. I do want to keep some darker out there so my stars will show up good. Okay, now I'm just going to wash my brush off. And I'm going to come down to the bottom. I'm going to make 2 snow mountains at the bottom. Hope you can see that okay at the bottom. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 little snow mountains. I'm going to keep some blue in it because I want it to look cold. And I can always brighten this up a little later. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this in with a little bit of blue and white. I want to keep it looking really cold. So I want to keep, you know, blue always makes everything look colder. So I'm going to leave some of my blue in there, and I'll come back and whiten up the snow here in just a little while. I'm going to make me a little snow bank right here. Some good mountainy snows here. You see it's more blue than white right now. Of course it is because I'm picking up a lot of that wet paint. So that's okay. I want to have that blue in there because later when I whiten it up, when I whiten and brighten up the snow, I'm going to want that blue for the brightness here just a little later on. Add a little bit higher mountain. I think I want that to come up just a little touch higher. There we go. Yeah, let's make that a decently high little snow mountain. Then I want this mountain cut right in front of it and it to be just a touch bit higher. There we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I kind of like that. Maybe not such a big dip in my mountain. There we go. Okay, very good. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tree. Okay, so I'm going to take a smaller thin brush just to kind of show me where I want to go with my tree. I'm going to make a smaller brush, and I'm going to have a white tree, and it's going to pick up some of this blue, and that's okay. And I'm going to go about right here. So I'm just going to draw my little tree base right there. It tells me where my tree is going to go. Now over here, I'm going to have 2 little side trees. So I'm going to just kind of make some little line trees over here, nothing too fancy. I just want to show that there's a couple little trees back in the background over here. So I'm just going to kind of cut them in like this, put some little branches. We do just little curvy, wavy branches on it. I'll kind of pull me a few little stems in here, just so it actually looks like a little tree over here. Nothing fancy. Put some more branches here, I think. Okay, now I've got me 2 trees over here. I think I'll make this body just a little bit wider, more wide at the bottom. There we go. Now I'll come in here later and brighten these up just a little bit, but I am actually doing a wet on wet. And what I do is when I'm going to do a painting, this is not my creation. This is someone else's creation. And I'm just kind of following it to get my idea from them because someone else picked this painting for me to do. So for their party tomorrow night. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make little curvy, see here, little curvy lines that come out from my tree. See here? And I don't want this to be so perfectly even, all right? I want it to, some of the branches to get a little longer, and I'm just doing little swirly, kind of like little curvy lines, one after another, and I'm going to do that all the way down to the very bottom of the tree. See here, just like so, just little lines, one after the other. And look, I'm not spacing these out too much, okay? I'm trying to keep them kind of close. I've got a lot of paint on my brush, and I'm just trying to keep my lines kind of close. That way, this is going to be a really full little tree, okay? It's going to be really full. So I want to just keep on adding and adding all the way down to the bottom. Now, when I get to the bottom, what I want to do is I actually want to kind of flare it out. So I'm going to just kind of go straight and then just flare this direction. See how it just kind of flares it out at the bottom and goes straight? See there? Now as this dries, it can get more white. Now what I'm going to come back and fill it in just to get it a little more full because I want this to be actually a good sized tree. Now I can grow it as much as I want to since I've actually got the start of it. So I can actually just grow it. See here, I'm just going to make it a little more wide as I go. See, I want it to get a little bigger. It's always better to make it a little small and grow it as to go way too big in the beginning. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to grow it out as big as I actually want it for this painting. Now that I've got the initial tree on there, I can see exactly what I want to do with it. Okay. See, I'm just getting a little bigger and bigger. I'm going to actually make this come out a little more. I want a good sized tree over here. I basically want it to take up this whole side of the canvas. So, there we go. Get this a little more wide here. Like I said, I'll probably come back in and do some more, but I'm going to give this time to kind of set up and dry just a little bit. See there? Now, this is just going to be a tall white tree. Now, in the background, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually draw some little stars, and I'm just going to make a plus sign. See how I'm going to make a plus sign? Then I'm just going to put an X right in the middle of that plus sign. See? What cute little stars that makes. These are just little bigger ones. I'm just going to put a few sporadically here and there. I'm going to do a plus and then just an X in the middle. It makes a nice little star. We'll make several of these. See there? Nothing too major. Now I might come back over these here just a little while and put more white on them just so they stand out a little. I'm not exactly sure yet. But anyway, so I'm going to do that. Now what I'm going to do, while it's wet, I'm going to take my little flipping brush, okay? It's going to be kind of stiff so it flings, you know, it'll fling out good. And I'm not going to wet it. I'm going to take another brush, wet it, take the water straight over to my paint. See here? And I'm going to really, really water this up, okay? I'm going to water this up. I want it to be really nice and watery. Can you see that? I'm going to get it real nice and watery because what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip me a bunch of stars on here. Or actually it could be snow, stars, whatever you want it to be in your imagination. But I do want it to be a wispy, starry night. Now I'm going to take that dry brush. I'm going to get that water and look, I'm just going to flip. Can you see that snow or stars, whichever one? Can you see it hitting the canvas? See there? They went a pretty good little heavy spot. Now you have to water this paint up really good. See there? And then I can make it as starry or as snowy as I like. And I'm actually going to make it pretty heavy, okay? So I'm going to do a lot of these. I want to just really pile it on there. I hope you can see that in the video. I'm not really sure. I'm going to flip that a little harder. See it? It makes a little bit bigger dots. So I'm just going to do this over the whole entire thing. That background should be drying in pretty good by now. So I can really whiten up my moon glaze in the middle. We'll make it look like a big giant snowball, I think. Oh boy, I've seen that flipping plumb up there. This is why all of our seats have lots of paint and stuff all over them. Of course, it's a little paint studio, but it's because we're always flicking snow and stars and stuff like that. We're always doing that around here. So of course everything gets covered in paint. I'm glad my phone is over here behind me. I always tell everybody, flip their phone over, put it in your pocket, get it off the table. Anything you don't want paint on it. Because even if you're not flicking it on it yourself, somebody behind you or somewhere else is probably flicking it on there for you. So we just try to keep everything picked up. I hope you could see that good. I will pick up the camera here later and get an up-close shot of this for you. There we go. I think I'm going to do more. I'm going to add some more water, make me some more watered down snow. I want this to be really, really heavy. I love something that's really covered in snow and you can see it really, really well. So I'm going to flip me some more on here. I want this to be nice, nice and heavy. So I'm going to get some more. Oh yeah, oh it is covered. You see how covered that is? I hope you can see that. It is awesome. I love all the little polka dots. I just love putting it on here this way. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. This ain't going to take very long. Now, when I'm doing this in a class, this is probably going to take about 2 hours. I'll probably paint this in maybe 20 minutes. I'd say 30, I'm going to guess, maybe max. But when we do this in a class, this will actually be like a 2-hour class. When you're directing it, it takes a little longer. So I just need to get it painted, and that way I can see how I'm actually going to go about the class. So I thought I'd share that experience with you all. Maybe you want to come in and sit at home and do this painting yourself. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw me a little circle right here. There we go. This is going to be my moon or my big giant snowball. We'll say moon, of course, because it's got the glow around it, but Let's just paint it in, get it nice and white. See, since the background's drying some, I can really brighten this up. I just use the edge of my brush and just kind of watch it as the edge goes around so I can get my circle basically painted in there. Nice and bright. Now I'm going to brighten this up more and more, and I'll just keep adding more layers of white to this. Now, you know, the moon itself has different colors in it and stuff, so I want to kind of leave some of the grays and the blues kind of in it, but I do want to brighten it up so it kind of really stands out on my painting. Okay. There we go. We want it to really stand out. How's that look? Yeah, it looks kind of cute, doesn't it? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my smaller brushes, okay, and I'm going to come right down here, and I'm actually going to make me a little snowman. All this is still drying in. Yeah, it's still drying in. So I'm going to put me a little snowman right here. I'm going to make me a circle. I always make like a C. See, I just draw a C, and then I go and close it with a backwards C. See there? So we learned to paint our alphabet the right way and backwards. So this is going to be the little base of him. So I'll make that one there. I'm not going to make him too awful big. I think he's kind of cute, smaller. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make the second one. Pile it on top of him here. Now I think I got the second one a little bit big. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grow the bottom one. See here, I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger now. You can adjust these. You don't have to worry about every little stroke you make, okay? If you do something and you don't like it, you can always come back and fix it. Now, I like him being a little bigger, so now I'm just going to recircle this one out. There we go. See, I like that size a little better. And then I'm going to put his little head up on him here. Just going to be a little bit smaller circle. I'm not worried about it being too perfect because I'm going to set a hat up there on top of him anyway. Okay, how's that? There we go. Now we've got our little body made for our snowman. He looks like he could be a little crooked, but that's okay too. I don't reckon I ever seen a perfect snowman. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. Now I'm going to take some black and I'm just going to put it on. Black takes over your color, so I'm just going to put me a black hat right here on top of him. Draw a straight line. That's all I'm going to do is just draw a straight line on his head. And then I'm just going to set me a little box right up here on top of it. See how easy that is? I'm just going to set me a little box. Now, when I actually do this in class, I'm probably, since I've done this now, going to make this a little more bright so you can at least see his hat. But what I can do to make that stand out a little more is I can take some white, put it on my brush, and do a little hint of an outline on it. See here, I can actually curve it, do little lines on it, and that kind of brings my hat more into view there. Okay? As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put me a little red band right here on it. I'm going to wrap me a little red band right there. That might help it to show a little bit better too. See there? Got me a little red on his hat. Okay, now then, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to straighten his body up a little. He does look like he's tilting over. So watch this. I'm going to come right here. Just scoot his body over just a hint. And look here, I'm going to put a little bit more down here on those bottom. There, it kind of lined him right out, didn't it? It doesn't take but a mark or two usually to fix something. It's never that big of a deal. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow and orange and I'm going to make him a nose. I'm going to give him a carrot nose out here. Mr. Snowman just out here hanging out by himself, checking out the pretty trees and the stars. And let's make him look this way. Let's just put his little nose right there. There we go. Let me add a little bit of white so y'all can see this better. Put a little more white on it. I'll make him kind of a little humpy nose. He's got a little hump carrot there going on. Now, can you see that okay? I hope you can see that. How that pulled together there. Now, I'm going to give him an eyeball, and we're only going to be able to see this one side, okay? So I'm going to put him a little eyeball in there, and I'm going to put him a little smile. He's smiling at the tree. He loves the winter scene. See, I'm going to put him a little smile. And I'm going to give him a couple little buttons right down through here. So you can kind of see those. How's that? Now then, let's see. What can we do now? I tell you what. Let's take and let's brighten up our snow on the bottom. Okay, let's brighten our snow up a little bit. I'm going to take my bigger brush. I'm going to come back in because I'm going to paint big. And look here. Let's just kind of... Let's whiten up our snow here now. Oh, don't that really make that pop? Look at him. He's sitting out there in that snow good. Put this in between my trees a little bit. Come down underneath them. See there? And just kind of brighten it up. Now, I want to leave some of the blue in there, okay? I don't want it to just turn solid white. I want to leave some blue in. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to whiten up this little mountain. I want to see that it cuts right over in front of that one. See there? And I'm just going to sporadically brush in some of my white. Got a little yellow in there, didn't I? It's okay. It can be a little glow off of the moon. See there? I'm just going to kind of do that. I want to kind of pile it underneath my tree over here like it's really sitting down in the snow. Put me a little something over here. There we go. Yeah, we've got our little snow mountain, good and bright. Very good. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back with my white. This is dried in some of my trees, and I'm just going to kind of brighten those up nice and bright now. They've had a chance to dry a little bit. So let's get these dried in there. Basically on this one, I guess what I have done is basically just describe the painting. So if you want to come in here and paint this little Christmas scene, or not Christmas, I'm sorry, this little snow scene yourself, you can do this at home. It won't take you but a few minutes. It's real easy. Don't stress yourself too much about every little stroke. Just come in here and paint and enjoy. It's just a few marks. Don't worry if they're perfect. Not every tree is perfect and has the perfect branches. You just make it your own. You can dress up your little snowman any way you want to. So you just add some little branches in here. No big deal. See how easy that is? It's not. We're not trying to be perfect here. Oh, I know. I'll tell you what. Let's put a little red scarf on the guy. You want to match the little red little band we put around his hat. Look here. Let's fly it out right here like this. Just like, how's that? Cute little scarf on him. Let's make it a little more wide in the front. There we go. We'll kind of do a little wrap right here, make it a little bit thicker, like that's where it kind of ties off over here on the side a little bit, and it just flows out from behind. Got a little bit of white in there. There we go. Cute. I'm going to put another little stroke on this red on his hat. There you go, so you can see it good and that it wraps around. We do a little curve. See how we come down with a little curve? That makes it actually look like it's wrapped around the hat. Okay. Now, I feel like I'm going to put a second coat on his nose. I'm going to get that stand out a little bit better. It's still a little bit wet. I hope you can see that. It's cute. It's like, what's he looking at over there? Let's do something. Let's put us a little red bird right here. He's actually watching the little red bird on this tree right here. So let's just put us a little red bird. I'm going to do like a little, kind of almost like a little football shape. That's how I always try to do my little birds. Look here, I'm going to put him a little tail sprouted out right here, his little tail. So he's sitting here kind of looking at the snowman too. I'm going to put a little circle on the top. See, a little circle for his little head. Now, their little hair kind of stands up, so let's do that. They've always got a red little beak, so let's put a little red beak on it. Looky there, how cute. See, I hope you can see the little guy. I'm going to put a little bit of white, I guess, right here in his tail, maybe kind of pinking it up so y'all can see that a little better. I'll do an up-close shot here in a minute when I'm done. I'll do a little more of an up-close shot. I love red, don't you? Let's put a little bit of yellow and orange look, I guess, right here for his little legs. Just make his little legs come down right there. Not too much. Oh, do you see what I did? I put my hand in that snow, and as you can tell, it's still good and wet. So all I'm going to do, see, got it all over me. Can you see that? I always get it all over me. And look, all I got to do is come back in there and brush it. No big deal. I'm not going to stroke out because I got a little bit of paint where I wasn't supposed to. Okay, I'm just going to come in here. I'll go ahead and streak in a little more white. I'll let each layer dry, and as it dries, then I can come back in and do a little bit more to it here in just a little while. Now, they've always got this little black thing. One thing, wipe my hand off a little bit. They've always got this little black piece on their little face, kind of like a little V shape back through here. There we go. Separates their little beak. I made it a little wide, so I'm just going to take a clean brush. See there? And just wipe it off a little bit. See how it takes it off? And then I'm going to put him just a little small white eye. That way we can see his little eye and see that he's actually looking at the bird. Boy, that's a big eye, isn't it? See, he's actually looking at the snowman. All right, I'm going to make his tail kind of curve up just a little bit. Nice, big, little, make him a little bit bigger there. There we go. Cute little red bird. I like little birdies. So since his eye got so big, I'm going to take a little bit of black. I'm just going to go back over that just a hint. There we go. Take it off just a little. Take that eye out just a little bit because his eye cannot be that big, no bigger than he is. There we go. That kind of helped a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of white and a little bit of black, make me a gray, and I'm actually going to go over his legs. Just a hint right here. Now they've about disappeared, but that's okay. I actually don't like that curve in his tail right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out. I'm just going to add a little bit of white and just bring that back out as my tree. See there? Oh yes, I like him sitting there talking to the little red bird. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of black. I'm just going to do a few little details right here for some wings. Put a little black in his tail. You can do this any way you want to. It's yours. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. Well, that's still pretty wet, but basically that is our painting. And it took us like, what, a whole 15 minutes maybe at the most. Now I'm going to take me some blue and add some white because I don't want this to jump out too big. And I'm actually going to come right here and I'm going to sign my name to it. I'm just going to say Tina Michelle. That's what I use as my signature. I'm not going to try to be too neat about it. I'm just going to kind of basically paint it on there. Voila, and there we go. Now, if I don't like that, and a lot of times I don't, okay, a lot of times I don't like how my signature came out, I just take white, look here, and I go right back over it. See there? No big deal. You can, you know, it's really just kind of unmistakable, you know, there's nothing that you can't fix in the painting. You have to, there's a little trick there really is to learning how to fix mistakes, but once you